Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to be a little bit different than what I normally do. Well, I often try to give you guys ideas in terms of optimizing your life and decisions and romance and travel, all these things that encompass, I think, a good life. There's one thing that I think is crucial to a good life that I don't talk about, I think, enough, and that is your physical health. In this video, I want to break down for you some of the biggest takeaways I got from Peter Attia's new book called OUTLIVE, which is fantastic. I highly recommend it, but it's a beast. And so I'm breaking down for you kind of the biggest takeaways, how I've implemented these into my own life, and how these have changed my life, and hopefully how these same ideas can change yours. So if that sounds good, I'll have everything timestamped up below. Let's jump into it. So before we jump into all these little health tips, tricks, and tactics and type of shit like that, I want to talk to you about what are you even living for? And I think that that's an important question to ask, because what Peter Attia talks about in the book is really preparing for your marginal decade. This is the last 10 years of your life. So when I think about this for myself with the marginal decade, what are the things that I want to do? If I have kids, if I have grandkids, I want to be able to pick them up. I want to be able to put my luggage in the overhead compartment by myself. I want to be able to walk upstairs. I want to be able to walk around. I want to be able to get up by myself. You know, I might still want to be able to have sex. I'm not exactly sure I'm going to feel at that age, but it's probably best to prepare beforehand in case I do. And so my point to you is, what are the activities that you want to do? Really think about it. Ask yourself, what do you want to do when you're in your 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s? You don't have to try to prepare to be like a super high performance athlete. It's simply, how do you train to be an athlete for your life? Because whatever's important in your life is going to be different than everybody else, but you're going to have your own ideas of what's important to you. And so for myself, when I think about this, it really makes it easy. If I have this equation of, I don't want my joints to hurt, if I want to be able to walk and run and play and jump and sprint and do these things, as I get older, I have to be really conscious about what type of activities am I engaging in to either help me practice to get to where I want to do and do these things better, or are these things taking away from those? And so there are two things that I love to do that I've stopped doing. One is jujitsu and two is Muay Thai. And I kept finding myself getting injured, especially my joints in both of these. Obviously in jujitsu, the whole point is that you target people's joints, and I just kept getting hurt. And I realized, as much as I loved that and I loved rolling around and getting sweaty, rolling on top of other dudes, wasn't for me. Like, I got hurt enough that I said, Kia, this isn't going to be able to be something that I see in this sort of longevity equation that I see myself doing for years on end. Same with Muay Thai. I hurt both my knees. I loved doing it, but it didn't quite work for me. So what I've done instead is now I just stick with Western boxing. I don't seem to get injured as much. I still throw my shoulders out from time to time and, you know, hyperextend an elbow here or there, but it's low impact as long as I'm not like beating on the bag. I can shadow box, I can hit pads, I can run some simple kind of partner drills, and it keeps me going, it keeps me doing the movements, it keeps me active, but I don't feel like I am at that same risk that I was with those other activities. Laugh about it now if you're in your teens, your 20s, but tell me, when you get in your 30s, and I'm sure in those later decades too, it is no joke. Hurting your joints, man, it really catches up, and it makes every day, the small moments of every day painful, not worth it to me. So figure out for yourself, if you're an athlete for life, what are the things that you want to do in that marginal decade, and then plan for them and train for those. Another big takeaway that I got from this book as well was that there are 3 types of fitness, and that is your cardio, your aerobic fitness. 2, your strength, right? We're trying to get buff out here. And 3, stability. And why are these important? Because 1, aerobic capacity obviously has to do with your heart, how well you're able to get up and go downstairs. We all know what that's important. He talks about your VO2 max workouts versus your zone 2 cardio. Zone 2, he says, something that you can do while you kind of do it and talk at the same time. A bike ride, a brisk walk, a jog. Swimming, you're not going to be talking about. It's not if you're going like all out. Things that you want to be able to hit these maybe 30, 40 minute workouts twice or 3 times a week. That's going to get you right in that kind of zone that you want to be, which is zone 2. And then VO2 max workouts. These for me, I only do once a week because these kick my ass. This is you're going all out, balls to the wall, all out sprint. You're boxing, shoe shining it hardcore. You're swimming. This is pedal to the metal. You are pushing your limits on this one. Listen, you can do this more if you want, but for me, once a week is plenty for that. But it's still important to be able to push that max capacity for ourselves. We obviously know the benefits of strength training. The last thing that you want to do is now be able to pick things up, or strength just kind of helps you be able to navigate through life. You don't have to be Hulk Hogan or, you know, The Rock or something like that, but it's good to have some strength and stability, of course, especially as we get into old age. It's proven if you like fall and break a hip, the mortality rate of older folks, as soon as they start to like fall or break hips or become immobile, it like your quality of life degrades rapidly. And so a way that I like to do this is certain one-legged exercises, like one-legged RDLs, or I love one-legged split squats. Another thing you can do if you don't even want to get that fancy with it, stand on one foot while you brush your teeth. While you're brushing your teeth, boom, boom, boom. Stand on one foot for 30 seconds, stand on the other foot for 30 seconds, working on stability. So as we get into that later age, we aren't so dependent on others because we can still move, dip, bop around, do what we got to do. Food. This one is like a religion for people, so I'm not going to jump in too much because I don't want to piss off too many of my listeners, of my watchers, because I've just got millions of viewers out there. You already know what it is, but I'm joking. I like to stick to a simple plan from Michael Pollan when it comes to food. That is, eat whole foods, not too much, mostly plants. Follow that. Michael Pollan does that. I love that. I feel good on that. Again, you want to be overeating too much. You want to make sure that you're kind of keeping within that range, but whatever works for you, do that you feel best on. Figure out what it is, because it is incredibly unique to your body. This one, y'all, I don't have to harp on this because I don't want to be telling you what to do, but these are a couple things that I've done in my life that have been really helpful when it comes to sleep. A lot of people struggle with sleep. These are, to me, the biggest game changers when it comes to getting a better night's sleep. One, less caffeine. The half-life on caffeine is crazy. I think it's like 8 hours or something, so that means it's still in your system 8 hours later. So if you're gonna drink caffeine, keep it to the morning. 2, no alcohol. I know that is a bummer, but if you're gonna drink, relatively limit it. Wear a sleep tracker and look at what happens when you drink. It absolutely destroys your sleep. It is what it is. 3, don't eat too close to bedtime. I try to eat about 3 hours before bed. You figure out what works for you, but that, I think, is a good rule of thumb, at least according to Dr. Peter Attia. Another one is light. Try to get into dim light, not have like super bright lights before you go to bed, because that triggers something in your eyes and the melatonin and this super hypochromatic nucleus or whatever it is. That shit is way above my pay grade. What I'm saying is get into dim lights, read by candlelight, or at least dim the lights down when it becomes evening time to let your body know it is time to go to bed. The last 2 when it comes to sleep are 1, sauna or a warm shower can do wonders before you go to bed. And this one's gonna sound super strange, but tape your mouth. You might be a mouth breather at night and not even realize it. I found that mouth taping, for me, as weird as it sounds, has actually been super helpful. And this isn't like duct tape. You can still breathe fine. I just get a little bit of microporous 3M tape, slap that bad boy on there, and it helps me just breathe through my nose throughout the entire night. So for me, sleep has been really a learned skill, which is kind of funny to say, but the more I pay attention to these things, the better I get at it. This last one is incredibly important to me, and that is emotional health. And I've done a lot of videos on this, that having a strong social circle can do wonders for you, and I think extend your life for like 10 years. I think it's like a carcinogen. If you're lonely and you don't have a strong social connection to people, it really affects your life. So staying emotionally healthy is actually a huge piece to being a healthy human. And what I love that Dr. Peter Attia says in the book is, and he said, it's not about trying to avoid damaging relationships, although yes, that helps, but how quickly do you repair them once you've done the damage? And so that's something that I've been really trying to do more is, I know I'm gonna hurt people, or I'm not gonna show up on time, or I'm gonna be this, I'm gonna be that, but how quick can I reach out and apologize, or how quick can I kind of remedy that situation after I've done whatever it is that ruffled some feathers? So I hope that that was helpful. Again, people, comes to food, sleep, make sure you're being active, planning for your marginal decade, eating the right amounts of food, eating the good food, paying attention to your sleep, making sure you have strong social connections. This isn't rocket science, but easier said than done. I hope this was helpful. Check out the book. It's amazing. Shout out to Peter Attia for all the research and the work. Appreciate you for tuning in. I'll check you on the next one. Peace.